Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and my presentation today is going to be on NGOs' role in disasters. So what exactly is an NGO? Well, NGO stands for a non-governmental organization, and these organizations are generally nonprofit and volunteer-based. Although some of the larger NGOs can actually make quite a large profit, sometimes millions of dollars, and can support a full-time paid staff. Generally, NGOs are organized locally, nationally, or internationally, and they all serve some sort of specific social or political purposes. There are a lot of NGOs in the world, and a lot of them do participate in disaster situations. These are just a few that I found. These are probably some of the more popular ones, so most people have probably heard of these. Habitat for Humanity International is obviously a huge one, as well as Oxfam, the Red Cross, and Mercy Corps, which might be a little bit less well known than the other three. So what exactly do NGOs do in disasters? Well, their main goal is to assist in all phases of a disaster, from preparedness to mitigation, response, and recovery. Often governments and communities are overwhelmed in large disaster situations, and so NGOs are really there to kind of step in and just help with whatever they can. And because NGOs have a lot of local connections in communities, they're able to implement projects and provide specialized services in communities that are affected by disasters. So now I'm going to go over just a few of the things that each of these NGOs kind of does in the field specifically. Habitat for Humanity assists a lot in the mitigation phase by building fortified homes in communities that are vulnerable to disasters. They actually have an entire department. It's called the Disaster Risk Reduction and Response Department, and they do a lot of work in the disaster field. This picture is an image from, I believe it's Guatemala, and you can see that this house was built on stilts because they have a lot of storms there and a lot of flooding, and so by building the homes on stilts, they are more prepared for the future disasters. Oxfam International is also a very large organization, and they work with governments, other local organizations, and as well as communities to really help prepare for the effects of climate change in the future, such as droughts and floods and extreme weather as well. The Red Cross assists a lot in the response phase by providing communities with food, water, and shelter immediately following a disaster. A lot of times after disaster strikes, you'll see images of volunteers from the Red Cross out in the field helping assist the victims of a disaster. As you can see in this picture, this volunteer here is delivering water. And then last but not least, Mercy Corps is probably a less well-known organization, but still an international NGO. And they help communities affected by a disaster recover more long-term by creating programs that provide jobs to local community members and help rebuilding the infrastructure. So overall, these are just a few examples. Obviously, there are a ton of NGOs in the world, a lot of them involved in the disaster situations, but hopefully this just gives you a little bit of idea of some of the work that is being done in the field.